The 5 will get you 25 method is a dynamic and inclusive tool for strategic thinking that promotes creativity and helps identify the best ideas within a group. Originally featured in The Surprising Power of Liberating Structures by Keith McCandless and Henry Lipmanowicz, this technique is designed to overcome barriers like hierarchy and introversion that often limit open participation in group discussions. Here's how it works. Participants independently write their best ideas on cards in response to a key question, such as, what is our organization's greatest challenge? These cards are shuffled and anonymously rated over multiple rounds by different participants. Each idea is scored based on its perceived brilliance, with the highest rated ideas emerging as top contenders for further discussion. The 5 will get you 25 method is particularly powerful because it encourages honest feedback without the fear of judgment, ensures all voices are heard regardless of rank or personality, highlights the most promising concepts for refinement and action. When integrated with ChatGPT, this process becomes even more insightful. AI can assist in synthesizing the collected ideas, identifying patterns, and providing actionable suggestions for next steps. Let's dive into how this tool works and explore how combining it with AI can lead to smarter, more inclusive decision-making. On screen is a copy of the AI-powered Strategic Thinker, 3 Kindle edition, so we can copy the prompt into ChatGPT. On the right is AI-powered Strategic Thinker, GPT, which is optimized for this tool and others in the book. You will want to start with the first prompt and provide context for your organization in the brackets. It may also be beneficial to upload documents related to your work. Prompt, act as the staff to your organization name. Your job is to synthesize the following context. To assist in performing the 5 will get you 25. Context is in brackets. If you understand your task, your only response is 3 dots. For this purpose, I prepared a prompt that will make up an organization, but search the web for a real-world problem we can look at in this example. The prompt states, I need a hypothetical company from the influencer industry. Search the web and find a real-world problem the industry has not been able to solve and would benefit from performing the 5 will get you 25. Provide an overview of the problem and wait for the next step.
Overview of the problem. In the rapidly evolving influencer marketing industry, a significant and persistent challenge is the prevalence of influencer fraud, particularly the use of fake followers and engagement metrics. This issue undermines the authenticity and effectiveness of marketing campaigns, leading to substantial financial losses for brands. Research indicates that influencer fraud, including fake followers, was estimated to cost businesses up to $1.30 billion, about 15% of global influencer marketing spending. Wikipedia. Despite various efforts to address this problem, such as platform crackdowns and third-party verification services, the industry continues to struggle with accurately detecting and mitigating fraudulent activities. The sophistication of fake accounts and engagement tactics makes it challenging to distinguish genuine influencers from fraudulent ones, resulting in wasted marketing budgets and diminished trust in influencer partnerships. This ongoing issue highlights the need for innovative solutions. Sources.
Prompt, identify the question or topic to be addressed by the group.
The topic to be addressed by the group is, how can the influencer marketing industry effectively detect and mitigate influencer fraud, including the use of fake followers and engagement metrics, to ensure authentic partnerships and maximize ROI for brands?
Prompt, have 20 participants independently write their best ideas or answers to the question in as few words as possible.
Below are 20 hypothetical ideas or answers from participants, presented in concise form. AI-powered fraud detection tools, mandatory account verification for influencers, blockchain-based influencer authentication, real-time analytics on engagement authenticity, incentivized transparency in influencer metrics, penalizing influencers for fraudulent activity, third-party audits of influencer campaigns, standardized industry reporting systems, publicly verified influencer scorecards, peer review systems for influencers, crowdsourced fraud reporting platform, using predictive analytics for fraud signals, partnering with fraud tracking startups, educating brands on spotting fake accounts, minimum engagement to follow ratio standards, regular influencer account audits by platforms, creating industry fraud detection certifications, greater transparency and algorithm adjustments, flagging suspicious trends using AI pattern recognition, government regulation and penalties for fraud.
Prompt, distribute one response to another random participant.
Here is how the responses could be redistributed to the participants. Participant 1 receives mandatory account verification for influencers. Participant 2 receives blockchain-based influencer authentication. Participant 3 receives real-time analytics on engagement authenticity. Participant 4 receives incentivized transparency in influencer metrics. Participant 5 receives penalizing influencers for fraudulent activity. Participant 6 receives third-party audits of influencer campaigns. Participant 7 receives standardized industry reporting systems. Participant 8 receives publicly verified influencer scorecards. Participant 9 receives peer review systems for influencers. Participant 10 receives crowdsourced fraud reporting platform. Participant 11 receives using predictive analytics for fraud signals. Participant 12 receives partnering with fraud tracking startups. Participant 13 receives educating brands on spotting fake accounts. Participant 14 receives minimum engagement to follow ratio standards. Participant 15 receives regular influencer account audits by platforms. Participant 16 receives creating industry fraud detection certifications. Participant 17 receives greater transparency and algorithm adjustments. Participant 18 receives flagging suspicious trends using AI pattern recognition. Participant 19 receives government regulation and penalties for fraud. Participant 20 receives AI-powered fraud detection tools. Each participant would now analyze or refine the idea they received for further discussion.
Prompt: have each participant read their card silently and consider the response.
Each participant takes a moment to read their assigned response silently, reflecting on its potential to address the issue of influencer fraud. Participants are encouraged to consider the feasibility of implementing the idea, its effectiveness in detecting or mitigating influencer fraud, possible challenges or drawbacks associated with the approach, any enhancements or alternative methods inspired by the idea. Once ready, participants will contribute their insights during the next discussion phase.
Prompt: write the rated response from each of the participants using 1 to 5, with 5 being brilliant and 1 being not good.
Here are the hypothetical ratings provided by each participant based on their assigned response. Mandatory account verification for influencers. 4. Feasible and straightforward, but may not address all fraud techniques. Blockchain-based influencer authentication. 5. Innovative and secure, though implementation may be complex. Real-time analytics on engagement authenticity. 5. High potential to detect fraud dynamically. Incentivize transparency in influencer metrics. 3. Good concept but may face resistance from influencers. Penalizing influencers for fraudulent activity. 4. Effective deterrent, but requires strong proof mechanisms. Third-party audits of influencer campaigns. 5. Reliable and adds trust, though potentially costly. Standardized industry reporting systems. 3. Useful but may lack enforcement capability. Publicly verified influencer scorecards. 4. Builds trust but requires consistent updates to stay relevant. Peer review systems for influencers. 3. Potentially biased, could lack scalability. Crowdsourced fraud reporting platform. 4. Engaging community input, but susceptible to misuse. Using predictive analytics for fraud signals. 5. Technologically advanced and scalable. Partnering with fraud tracking startups. 4. Practical but dependent on external capabilities. Educating brands on spotting fake accounts. 4. Valuable, but limited if other solutions aren't adopted. Minimum engagement to follow ratio standards. 3. Easy to implement, but overly simplistic. Regular influencer account audits by platforms. 5. Essential for consistent fraud mitigation. Creating industry fraud detection certifications. 4. Increases credibility but could face adoption barriers. Greater transparency and algorithm adjustments. 3. Necessary but difficult to achieve with proprietary algorithms. Flagging suspicious trends using AI pattern recognition. 5. Highly effective and scalable. Government regulation and penalties for fraud. 4. Strong deterrent but challenging to enforce. AI-powered fraud detection tools. 5. Robust, scalable, and adaptable to evolving fraud tactics. This rating system provides a clear view of which ideas participants believe are most promising and impactful.
Prompt: repeat the process of distributing, rating, and redistributing for a total of 5 rounds.
Here's how the process could play out over 5 rounds, with redistribution, silent review, and updated ratings at each stage. For simplicity, I'll summarize each round. Round 1, initial ratings. Already provided in the previous step, with ratings assigned to each response. Round 2, redistribution and ratings. Participants receive a new random response to evaluate. Here's the updated set of ratings. Blockchain-based influencer authentication. 5 still seen as innovative, but flagged for scalability challenges. AI-powered fraud detection tools. 5 reinforced as effective and adaptable to new tactics. Third-party audits of influencer campaigns. 4 slight drop due to concerns over cost efficiency. Using predictive analytics for fraud signals. 5 praised for high technical scalability. Penalizing influencers for fraudulent activity. 3 critiqued for difficulties in proving intent. Real-time analytics on engagement authenticity. 5 affirmed as essential for dynamic fraud detection. Creating industry fraud detection certifications. 4 supported but flagged for adoption resistance. Educating brands on spotting fake accounts. 3 limited impact without tech-based support systems. Flagging suspicious trends using AI. 5 retains high effectiveness in detecting fraud signals. Crowdsourced fraud reporting platform. 4 considered engaging but vulnerable to misuse. Round 3, redistribution and ratings. The process continues, ensuring no participant evaluates the same response twice. Updated ratings. AI-powered fraud detection tools. 5 still robust and effective with widespread agreement. Blockchain-based influencer authentication. 4 technical complexity causes a slight dip. Flagging suspicious trends using AI. 5 reinforced as adaptable and highly scalable. Publicly verified influencer scorecards. 4 seen as good for transparency but logistically heavy. Minimum engagement to follow ratio standards. 3 considered too simplistic for nuanced fraud. Mandatory account verification for influencers. 4 effective but limited without additional layers. Third-party audits of influencer campaigns. 4 remains trusted but costly for small businesses. Greater transparency in algorithms. 3 good in theory but lacks feasibility in proprietary systems. Incentivized transparency in metrics. 3 practical but lacks incentive clarity. Partnering with fraud tracking startups. 4% supported as practical and collaborative. Round 4, redistribution and ratings. The responses are shuffled again, and participants rate them anew. Updated ratings. Using predictive analytics for fraud signals. 5 continues to receive high praise for innovation. Crowdsourced fraud reporting platform. 3 vulnerability to bias weakens its appeal. Government regulation and penalties for fraud. 4 good deterrent but flagged for enforcement issues. Creating fraud detection certifications. 4 credibility builder but questioned for scalability. Educating brands on fake accounts. 3 limited standalone effectiveness reiterated. Blockchain-based influencer authentication. 4 still considered innovative but resource intensive. Real-time analytics on engagement. 5 stays highly effective for dynamic fraud prevention. Penalizing influencers for fraud. 3 dropped further for implementation hurdles. AI-powered fraud detection tools. 5 unanimously affirmed as a top-tier solution. Standardized industry reporting systems. 3 practical but lacks compelling differentiation. Round 5, final redistribution and ratings. In the final round, each participant reviews a response they haven't previously rated. Updated ratings. AI-powered fraud detection tools. 5 confirmed as the standout solution. Real-time analytics on engagement. 5 retains a top-tier rating. Flagging suspicious trends using AI. 5 final consensus solidifies its strength. Blockchain-based influencer authentication. 4 complexity keeps it from perfect scores. Partnering with fraud tracking startups. 4 practical with moderate support. Third-party audits of campaigns. 4 effective but costly. Remains unchanged. Incentivize transparency and metrics. 3 final review reiterates limited appeal. Penalizing influencers for fraud. 3 implementation challenges persist. Creating fraud detection certifications. 4 useful but non-transformational. Minimum engagement to follow standards. 3 simple but outdated approach confirmed. Key insights from the process. After 5 rounds, the highest rated responses were AI-powered fraud detection tools 5, flagging suspicious trends using AI 5, real-time analytics on engagement authenticity 5, using predictive analytics for fraud signals 5. These responses stood out for their adaptability, scalability, and innovative approaches to solving influencer fraud.
Prompt after the 5th round, have participants tally the ratings for each idea and call out the descending scores, starting with 25.
Here are the tallied scores for each idea after 5 rounds, listed in descending order, starting with a maximum score of 25. AI-powered fraud detection tools, 25. Flagging suspicious trends using AI, 25. Real-time analytics on engagement authenticity, 25. Using predictive analytics for fraud signals, 25. Blockchain-based influencer authentication, 21. Third-party audits of influencer campaigns, 20. Partnering with fraud tracking startups, 20. Creating fraud detection certifications, 20. Government regulation and penalties for fraud, 19. Mandatory account verification for influencers, 19. Publicly verified influencer scorecards, 18. Incentivized transparency in influencer metrics, 15. Crowdsourced fraud reporting platform, 15. Educating brands on spotting fake accounts, 15. Standardized industry reporting systems, 15. Minimum engagement to follow ratio standards, 15. Penalizing influencers for fraudulent activity, 13. Greater transparency in algorithm adjustments, 13. Insights top performers score of 25. Ideas involving advanced technologies, AI, and predictive analytics, dominated as the most effective, adaptable, and scalable solutions for influencer fraud. Middle performers, practical ideas like blockchain authentication and third-party audits received support, but were seen as costlier or harder to implement. Lower performers, 15 or below, simpler or less innovative ideas, such as minimum standards and penalizing influencers, lacked scalability or transformative potential. This ranked list provides clear direction for focusing efforts on the most impactful solutions.
Prompt, write the responses that correspond to the highest 3 to 5 scores for further discussion and refinement by the group.
Here are the responses corresponding to the highest scores, 25, for further discussion and refinement by the group. 1. Description: leverage artificial intelligence to develop tools that analyze patterns, engagement metrics, and user behavior in real time to detect fraudulent activities, such as fake followers and automated bots. Key questions for discussion. What specific AI techniques, e.g., machine learning models, natural language processing, should be prioritized? How can these tools remain adaptive to evolving fraud tactics? What infrastructure or partnerships are necessary to implement this at scale? 2. Description: use AI to identify and flag suspicious trends across influencer accounts, such as sudden spikes in followers, unusual engagement ratios, or repetitive comment patterns that suggest bot activity. Key questions for discussion. What data sources, e.g., platform APIs, third-party monitoring tools, are essential for training these models? How can flagged trends be validated to avoid false positives? Can this system integrate directly with social media platforms for broader adoption? 3. Description: develop tools that provide real-time analytics to assess the authenticity of engagement metrics, distinguishing genuine interactions from bot-driven or purchased engagement. Key questions for discussion. What metrics should be the focus for real-time analysis, e.g., comment diversity, timing patterns? How can real-time results be presented in a way that is actionable for brands? What challenges might arise in achieving seamless, real-time data processing? 4. Description: employ predictive analytics to identify patterns of potential fraud before they impact campaigns, using historical data and behavior modeling to forecast fraudulent activities. Key questions for discussion. What historical data points are critical for accurate predictions? How can predictive analytics be integrated with existing marketing workflows? How can this approach reduce false negatives and maximize detection efficiency? 5. Description: create a blockchain-based system where influencers' metrics, collaborations, and activities are recorded and verified, ensuring transparency and authenticity for brands. Key questions for discussion. How can blockchain technology be made accessible and scalable for small and mid-sized brands? What type of data should be included in the blockchain ledger? How can stakeholders ensure data privacy while maintaining transparency? These ideas will now undergo group discussion to refine their feasibility, implementation strategies, and potential impact on solving influencer fraud.
That's the 5 will get you 25 method, a simple yet effective way to generate, evaluate, and prioritize ideas in a group setting. By fostering anonymity and inclusivity, this technique ensures that the best ideas rise to the top, free from bias or hierarchy. When paired with tools like ChatGPT, this process becomes even more powerful. AI can analyze and refine the top ideas, offering deeper insights and actionable steps to turn them into reality. For more strategies and tools like this, check out the AI-powered Strategic Thinker 3.